Hello and welcome to the final car launch of 2021. Today we have the SF21 from Ferrari, just 2 days before the testing begins in Bahrain. And so today we are looking at the SF21. Ferrari do like to change all of their names for their cars, but the very first image that we have is this one here. Interestingly, they have slightly changed the nose of the car as well as the rear. However, they have a hideous lime green Mission Win Now statement thing logo on the engine cover. The ones on the front of the car are black. I don't know why they're two different colours. I don't even know where the green has come from, but it is hideous. I saw some leaked photos of it a short while before this, around 12 o'clock. It's currently 1:15, and I just didn't believe it. I didn't believe that is what they were going to do. And if we take a look at another photo from the side-on angle, it's just ugly. The green is really not a good suit. I love the dark burgundy at the back, sort of a reverse of what Mercedes have done with the black heading towards silver. They've gone from Ferrari red going towards burgundy like they had in Mugello. Now that is lovely. I really like that. It is very nice. I also meant to say Tuscany, not Mugello, whichever race was their 1000th race where they did that one-off livery. That's really nice. I would have liked them to go back to nice shiny glossy colours, as matte red for me just doesn't quite hit right, and I would have really loved it if they'd have incorporated some white, very similar to the 2017 car. We've then got another angle from the front here. These are screenshots taken from the video, as there have been no official photos launched just yet. They'll probably release a little bit later on, so it is all shrouded in darkness, which will make my comparisons to its 2020 predecessor a little bit difficult. But as these are only renders, it's not ideal to take direct comparisons just yet, but we can see some massive changes on the nose. They've gone for a very odd concept. It's very different to whatever everyone else has gone for, as well as the changes at the rear. They have massively been altered. And I think we've got one final angle just here. And yeah, that green, oh god, could it have just been any other colour? White, black, that's it. White or black. Green, yuck. Or maybe even a different shade of red. It's just anything but green. Really, I don't know. It may grow on me a little bit, but right now, I do not like it. And with those first thoughts of the Ferrari out of the way, we will jump on into a side-by-side comparison. 2020 is on the top and 2021 is on the bottom. And we will start from the left of the car and work our way towards the right. We start with this barge board section of the car. In 2020, it's these three vertical strakes raise relatively tall up the, I don't know what section of the car that is, between the side pod and the front wheel. And then once again here in 2021, they have been decreased, but they still follow the same design philosophy of the three strakes overlapping each other, but they're just a little bit shorter. Now, I'm not a full aerodynamicist, so I definitely do not know all of the official wiggly terms for all of these finicky small bits, and equally these are only launch renders that I'm comparing, so all of these details can 100% change. But moving slightly further down towards the rear end of the car, we can compare the shark fins, and we can see that they are of very similar shapes. I believe 2020 is just an ever so touch bigger than what we see here in 2021, as opposed to what we saw with Alfa Romeo, where they had a very significant rear shark fin change as well. However, the most significant change that I can see and I have identified so far between these two Ferraris is the shape of the side pod and the engine cover. We know they have brought a significant engine upgrade, hopefully much better than what we saw in 2020, and we can really see it here. 2020 was a nice smooth from the side pods to the rear of the car, whereas 2021, it takes all sorts of different contours, and that is going to be very interesting. It looks a lot slimmer as well, so perhaps they have packed in a little bit more cooling within the engine, so they've allowed to streamline the rear end of that car. They did have both of their development tokens, so they have been able to afford all of this fancy changes, unlike a team like McLaren, where they've had to keep most of the structural things the same as they spent all of their tokens on the engine. Ferrari have not been in that case. Now, there are some small little changes with the rear wing. They've gone for a very Mercedes-esque sort of little steps down from the top portion to the lower portion. I haven't highlighted them, mainly because the rear wings change on a very regular basis between races. And then we've just got another angle to compare of these two Ferraris. It's a sort of side-on, side-ish profile of the car. Now, the first thing we can highlight is, of course, the nose. The nose has significantly changed. It's still the fat, chunky nose that Ferrari has always run. It's not nice and skinny like the Mercedes, the Aston Martin, and the McLaren as well. But they've definitely changed the front-end philosophy of that nose. And I'm not massively keen on the design of it. It's very similar to the pointy penis noses of 2014, but it's hopefully it is actually beneficial to them. Now, interestingly, something that we can't see on the 2021 car as it is shrouded in darkness, but we can see on the 2020 car, is this section just behind the cape here. This will be very interesting to see if we can see it in this dark area on 2021 come testing in just a couple of days. But now another big change on this car comes from the airbox design. We can see in 2021 it's a sort of, I have no idea what shape to describe that as. It's like a triangle, but it's all curvy-worthy. Whereas 2020, it is a properly just dominant triangle shape. Whereas 2021, it's a lot bigger. It's gonna suck in more air, so perhaps they have got a better cooling system within this car. And once again, we can see those rear end changes as well. They are very significant at the back. So this new power unit is completely different. And then finally, we just have a full head-on view. Now, unfortunately, 2021, it's all slightly shiny as it is just a direct screenshot from the video that they produced. And we can see clearly the changes in the nose. It is still the fat, chunky boy, like I mentioned in the previous section, but it's just got these interesting curves and wraps underneath, in a similar sort of design philosophy to the Mercedes bulbous nose that they had, where the bulb sort of wraps underneath the nose. That's very similar to what Ferrari have attempted here, just keeping their fat nose design with the little knobbly bit sticking out the end. And now for the obligatory possible thumbnail arrows, just highlighting this grey section where I literally cannot see anything whatsoever, and then this section on the 2020 car so the arrows match up. I can't see anything. We'll have to wait and see what happens in testing. That's mainly for the thumbnail purposes, whichever angles I decide to pick. And there we go. There is the SF21. My first thoughts. I don't like the green in the slightest. And then the 2020 comparison with its predecessor. Now, it is currently testing in just a couple of days. I might do some more shakedown videos or some further pictures that get released and compare it to the previous year's cars, or maybe even the renders. I'm not 100% sure, or I may just do a sort of overview after testing. Definitely going to react to my 2021 predictions, which I made back in December. I'll react to that 100% over testing as well. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next episode with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.